And we are going to look at, this is still the August 2023 paper, Law and Governance. So we are going to look at question 6 of that paper, and we'll start with the first part, which is highlight 5 pillars of corporate governance. Highlight 5 pillars of corporate governance. Now, there are quite a number of pillars for corporate governance, but I'll go with the ones for that have been advocated by the Institute of Certified Secretaries. That is basically the body that is responsible when we talk about the governance issues. So they identified 9 pillars, actually 9 pillars of good corporate governance, and I'll go with those 9 pillars, from which you can pick any 5 that you are comfortable with. So the first pillar is ethical leadership, and strategic management. Ethical leadership and strategic management. That is the first pillar of corporate governance. Strategic management has everything to do with the vision, the mission, the goals, the objectives, the future of the organization, long-term future of the organization. Ethical leadership, of course, that one is guided by the ability to know what is good and going ahead to do what is good. So that is number 1. Pillar number 2, transparency and disclosure. Sometimes goes by the name of openness. So transparency and disclosure is the other pillar of corporate governance, and that this is just being open for scrutiny and making sure that all the material facts, the significant facts, are known to whoever the decision maker is, who will use the information that you are presenting. That is about the disclosure. Disclosure is making known anything that you think is relevant to the use of that information. So that is the second. The third one is compliance to law, compliance to laws and the regulations, compliance to laws and regulations. Very important for organizations that want to put their governance level at that high level, at that high status. So there is need to comply to all the regulations that have been set and the laws of the land. Then communication with stakeholders, very important. Communication with stakeholders is another pillar. Then we have board independence and governance is also yet another pillar. Some will choose to go with autonomy of the board. That is being independent, the ability of the board to make independent decisions that are not influenced by any third party. Then we have board policies, systems, processes and procedures, even practices. Board policy, system, practices and procedures is also very important. When we talk about corporate governance, policies, systems in place, the processes, the procedures, the practices come in handy. And all these things should be efficient and effective. In fact, some will just talk of efficiency and effectiveness as a pillar. Can also go handy. Then we have consistent shareholder and stakeholder value enhancement. So we talk of consistent shareholder and stakeholder value enhancement. So this is value, ensuring that there is value for all the stakeholders. Very important when we talk about corporate governance pillars. At the end of the day, there must be value. Then we have another one, corporate social responsibility and investment. Corporate social responsibility and investment. This is growth. Investment basically leads to maximization of shareholders' wealth. So that is also very important. And CSR, of course, giving back to the society. And lastly, sustainability. Sustainability, this is the ability for the business to stay for an unforeseeable future period of time. And of course, taking care of things like the environment and everything, because it's assumed that the business will be there. So it has to play a role in ensuring that all its functions and activities basically support the future generations. So these are the 9 pillars of good corporate governance that have been identified and are being pushed by the Institute of Certified Secretaries, which is the institute that basically deals with governance issues. So if you pick any 5 from this, you'll be good to go. The most common ones, we always talk of efficiency and effectiveness, we talk of independence, we talk of responsibility and accountability. You can talk of justice and fairness or equity. These are the most common ones. Independence, I think we've mentioned independence here. We also have leadership, stakeholder, risk management. These are common ones, but I would prefer we go with these ones. These are the best for this question. Thank you. Let's move to the second part of it. Highlight 7 roles of professional bodies with regard to regulation of a profession. Highlight 7 roles of professional bodies with regard to regulation of a profession. Professional bodies. Example of professional bodies, we have ISPAC, we have ICS. ISPAC is Institute of Certified Public Accountants Kenya. Institute of Certified Secretaries, we have IHRM, Institute of Human Resource Management. So these are bodies that have been formed and they have the authority in regards to their respective professions. And the question here is asking the roles of these professional bodies with regard to regulation of a profession. Number 1, they develop and promote. They develop and promote professional conduct. They develop the professional conducts, how professionals in their field are supposed to behave, and then they promote. They ensure that, is it promotion or enforcement? They make sure that people know of those guidelines and they actually live those guidelines. So they develop and promote professional conduct. They also train the professionals continuously, through what is known as continuous professional development programs. Continuous professional development programs. I think you must have heard of this, where we talk of CPD programs, and all professionals in a certain line normally will have to attain a certain number of points for them to be considered as being in good standing with the professional body. So the professional body has a role of training its professionals so that they can continuously know what is happening in the profession. They also have the role of communicating the standards to the public, the set standards to the public and the professionals in their field. So they have the role of communicating the set standards, and even if we are talking about the revised standards or improved standards, it is the responsibility of the professional bodies to make sure that their members know of the changes or know of any set standard to be put into practice outside there. They have the role of publishing journals, magazines, the journals, magazines, and such like stuff, basically to pass knowledge, and to create awareness, and promote possibly the discipline, the discipline. It is through those magazines and journals that, of course, they will get some new entrants into new professionals joining that particular discipline. So they have the duty of publishing journals, magazines, and also, of course, educating the masses about what they do and how they come in, the whole space of business or whatever engagement that we're talking about. Then, of course, they also provide a network for professionals to meet, and interact, share, interact, and of course grow. Then we can also say that they enforce, not just enforcing, they set I think we had talked about this, that they set the professional conduct. And then here let's talk of enforce professional conduct. That means that they can discipline whoever contravenes or whoever goes against the set professional conduct guidelines. So they have the powers to summon, they can suspend, they can expel a member from the body. Basically, they have the powers to discipline, to ensure there's discipline among the professionals who are registered with it as a professional body. So we can comfortably say that they deal with cases of discipline and complaints, from the clients about their members. They are the people to handle such. Then they also represent members. They represent their members in times of lobbying. They represent their members in times of lobbying or legal representation. For example, if the body is required to participate in the formulation of laws in its discipline, then it is the body that will be that will represent the members in coming up with the relevant legislation. So they represent members in terms of lobbying, and when we are talking about lobbying, the members can speak in one voice, courtesy of the professional bodies. Then, of course, they also promote, I think we must have said this, they promote career opportunities, promote career growth and opportunities, open opportunities for new entrants, the students and the group. And by the way, they also involved in curriculum setting to a greater extent for the students who are pursuing the discipline, who wants to be professional in that discipline. They participate to a larger extent in the coming up of the syllabus. Like ISPAC plays a major role in KASNEB. KASNEB is the examining body of the accounting and related examinations. ICS, of course, is also a major player when it comes to setting the exams, which is done by KASNEB. IHRM plays a very important role in the HRM-PEB. HRM-PEB is the body that examines the HR students who want to become HR professionals. So they are involved to a large extent in coming up with the syllabus, of course advising the examining body on the emerging areas and areas of significance that must be included in the syllabus and such like stuff. So I think we might have discussed quite a lot of points here, more than 10, but just pick any 7. I think on our screen we have 8. So just pick any 7 and you'll be good to go. Thank you. I think we have the last part of this question, question C6. In relation to professional ethics, examine 4 common ethical dilemmas faced by professionals. In relation to professional ethics, remember I told you that this is one of the pillars of corporate governance, and we call it ethical leadership. So examine 4 common ethical dilemmas faced by professionals. Of course, number 1, we have this issue of creative accounting or accounts falsification. It comes in with a lot of goodies when you falsify the accounts, because at the end of the day you are likely to gain what you wanted to achieve. Sometimes you want to fake the profit so that you can attract the potential shareholders, which is something good. But at the same time, you are doing an unethical thing. Those are the dilemmas, and at the end of the day, you have to really be principled for you to pick the right option, which in this case is to give the right state of affairs as opposed to being engaged in creative accounting. So creative accounting is an issue that basically puts most professionals in a dilemma. Do they falsify the accounts to entice or to influence or to make the stakeholders happy, or do they give the accounts as they are and at the end of the day you lose that good relationship possibly with the stakeholders? It's quite a dilemma, but the best is to give accounts the way they're supposed to give. That is where now ethics comes in. The issue of data privacy is also quite data privacy. It's also an issue. Businesses would want this data to use it to promote their businesses, to lure more customers, but at the same time, we are saying that the data should be kept privately and should not be used in any manner that was not meant when the owner of this data was giving out the data. So it's quite a thin line. We have the issues of nepotism. This is where now you choose to follow your instincts and instead of professionalism. It's very common where people employ people from their background and the group. We also have the issue of workplace health and safety. Of course, this one is it's expensive to ensure workplace health and safety, but at the same time, that is what is required. So, quite a dilemma. The issues of whistleblowing. These are your friends, and so you might wonder: do you whistleblow to expose them, or do you keep it as a secret so that he can continue serving in that organization? If your friend is involved in funny stuff, the crafty stuff, do you expose him or do you protect your friendship? Those are issues of dilemma. We also have the issues of non-disclosure. Do you disclose or do you keep it to yourself? Sometimes by disclosing you risk, and sometimes also by not disclosing you risk. Professionalism demands that you disclose if it's of material nature, But again, just as I've said, sometimes disclosing puts you in an awkward position, or sometimes it's a risk to disclose. You disclose, you face the consequences, which possibly might be negative. So it provides a very, it's an ethical dilemma. The issue of technology is something good, but technology again can be misused. It depends with how you are using it. So it has its good sides, it also has its bad sides. Like you put CCTV, yes, it's good, it shows what is happening, but again, it might contravene to the privacy of some people. It might capture information that was not necessarily meant to be captured. So it's quite, those are some of the ethical dilemmas, and majorly in the workplaces that affect the professionals. Pick any four and we'll be good to go. Thank you. Let's meet in the next question. And please remember to check our website. We have our website, www.globalpointlearningcenter.com. We are actually a school. And we have notes for all these units that we are teaching here. We have pre-recorded videos for every lesson, and then of course we have these questions and answers which you are seeing. So enroll with us and get all these things at a very friendly price. Thank you.